Thank you very much, Richard. So many people resolve to stop smoking in the new year, and Tobacco Free Florida wants to help you kick the habit. It is providing free services and free nicotine patches to help get you started. These can really double a tobacco user's chances of success, so keep that in mind. Joining me now with more information is Dr. Lynette Kennison. She is a nursing professor at Jacksonville University. Good morning to you. And we were just chatting about the fact that for someone just to even reach the point where they're ready to quit and saying to themselves, I'm ready to quit, that's a big step because you're almost married to your cigarette.
Absolutely. Some people absolutely love smoking and have no desire to give it up, but when they realize this is an addiction with consequences that can be fatal, over the course of time, and family members and economic reasons, people decide maybe I should try, maybe I should give it a shot.
So there are benefits, obviously, to quitting smoking, and you just touched on them. And if you think about lung cancer, and oftentimes, but when someone they don't even know they have it, they become symptomatic, and they're dead in months. I mean, that's one of the benefits, and that's an obvious one.
Absolutely. There are more people that die, men and women, from lung cancer than any other cancer out there. And sometimes we don't talk about that because we talk a lot about breast cancer and prostate cancer. But that is just one consequence of smoking. There are other cancers. There's cardiac disease. There are wrinkled skin. I mean, there are so many things that are important to us that affect us by smoking.
So, and one of the statistics, in fact, that we found is that you can add up to 10 years to your life if you quit smoking.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. I mean, if you think about 10 years.
It's amazing. And when you even think that after 15 years, you have the same risk for coronary heart disease as someone who doesn't smoke. It's like getting your life expanse back.
So let's talk about then what is being offered, particularly the free, because that nicotine patches can be very expensive. It can be expensive to quit. Some people may not even have the money, even though they'll end up saving in the long run when it comes to buying those ciggies.
It's so exciting because Tobacco Free Florida offers several programs to help you quit. There's a program that is online, that you can have an online coach. There's a program that you can do by telephone because some people are not comfortable with online. And then the Area Health Education Center, or AHEC, provides group sessions that provide not only nicotine patches, also gum or lozenges, and a support program that provides participants' workbooks so that they get a lot of information while they're getting group support.
It's interesting. How important is that group support? I mean, is it what you're encouraging is you're saying, okay, you're feeling like the need that you need to smoke, so you call someone up and they talk you out of it? Is that in essence what happens?
That can help. I think people need a buddy system. They need others to have some accountability and to have some support when they get triggered by things that they normally would smoke because they're engaged in it.
It's interesting, too, because we've really been talking about smokers, but there are other addictions related to tobacco. For example, maybe somebody who dips. Is that a good somebody also that you're trying to reach?
We talk about, like, our sports, baseball for one. We talk about dip, chew, and that, you also have consequences with that. Mouth cancers, different things that people that would be horrible to get. So these programs can also address those addictions as well. And then there are nicotine replacement products like for people that use dip, sometimes the lozenges or the gum are very helpful because it simulates in the mouth. So that can be very helpful. And there are prescriptions that have been shown to have really high efficacy if used. Chantix is one that there are commercials about, and Zyban is another one. And Chantix actually blocks the nicotine receptors in the brain. So if you smoke, it doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't reinforce.
Because it is an addiction.
It is an addiction.
It's about lengthening your life if you think about not just yourself, but the people who love you that are in it and want you here longer. Thank you very much, Doctor, for being here. Do appreciate it. I want to give everybody the information about how to take advantage of these free services that are now available at tobaccofreeflorida.com. We'll post a link on newsforjax.com there on the morning show page to that website along with this entire interview. There's also a hotline that you can call. It's 877-YOU-CAN-NOW, and it's the letter U. Bruce?